Hey, I was lucky enough to get my hands on a Quest 3S recently. Well, it's mainly for other people to use when they come over, and before I give a headset to anybody, I like to make sure I know the ins and outs of it, so I just wanted to share my thoughts and comparisons after around 100 hours of use for the Quest 3S. Kinda just want to discuss who this headset is for, and why it may or may not be a smart buy for you. First, let's get the unboxing out of the way. Boxes for these headsets just keep getting smaller, which is nice, and this box can even double as a stand for your Quest 3S. Although I probably wouldn't leave it in this stand, quote unquote, while it's charging, because we know how these headsets and charging cables can be sometimes. So until we know for sure that's not going to keep happening, maybe leave it out. The box comes with pretty much everything we expect at this point. You get a couple controllers, same ones as the Quest 3. Basically a standard by now, I guess. The headset itself, a USB-C to USB-C charging cable and wall wart, as well as a glasses spacer. The first thing that stood out to me was just how familiar this headset felt to hold. It really took me back to the old Quest 2 for a moment. Besides the fact that the box is much smaller and it's missing its damn auxiliary port, the Quest 3S and Quest 2 do share a similar form factor. However, the 3S is noticeably slimmer and has cameras mounted on the face of the headset in a new triangular array. And I would venture to guess that this headset would be just as slim as the Quest 3 if not for the Fresnel lenses being so chunky. When putting the headset on for the first time, I was met with the same discomfort most are met with the first time donning a Meta headset. The stock strap still hurts just about every point of your head that it touches. Wearing it for 20 to 30 minutes while doing the first time setup and making my avatar and downloading games was miserable. I honestly don't know how these plastic thongs for your skull make it past quality assurance. The good news, however, is if you're someone like me who already owns a Quest 3 and maybe you have an old unused head strap lying around, all Quest 3 head straps should fit the 3S perfectly fine. I've tested it with 2 of my straps and it is a game changer as always. At the same time, if you're new to VR and the Quest 3S is your first headset, do yourself a favor and get a decently priced third-party Quest 3 head strap that looks comfy and has good reviews. It makes playing VR games 100 times more enjoyable. Meta continues to shoot themselves in the foot in that aspect of their headsets, but I digress. One thing that I have to say that seriously surprised me was how good the pass-through is on this headset. When they announced that the 3S was going to be $299, I was half expecting them to ship the 3S with the absolute garbanzo beans pass-through that the Quest 2 was infamous for, but to my pleasant surprise, my expectations were kind of blown away. It is kind of hard to show the comparison on camera because I think that videos on flat screens never do the pass-through quality justice, but in the same bright lighting conditions, I thought the Quest 3S looks incredibly smooth and mixed reality felt great, which confused me for a while, but I think it just boils down to the lenses being different. But even then, the 3S is lacking the depth sensor that the Quest 3 has, which especially confused me when it started scanning my environment, which is something I thought you needed the LiDAR sensor for. Hey, editing Dom popping in here real quick, just wanted to let you guys know, I found out that instead of a LiDAR scanner, the Quest 3S is actually equipped with 2 IR scanners, which essentially does the same thing but at a cheaper price, which is pretty awesome. The one upside of having IR scanners is that the Quest 3S should actually be pretty good at playing games in low light environments, so as long as your environment is safe, try playing in the dark. And now, back to your regularly scheduled nonsense.
Yes, scan my environment. Tell the government what my garbage pail looks like. You fiends.
And it still manages to give an extremely good pass-through experience. Let me know in the comments if you guys feel the same about the pass-through for the 3S. If you have the 3S, if you have both, how do you feel they compare? Please let me know. I could look at my phone easily, and going from game to pass-through has been made even easier with the addition of the new action button located near the volume buttons. One click and your virtual reality melts away, revealing reality, which can be a little depressing sometimes. Moving on, one thing I first noticed after finishing the quick tutorial and setup was that some Meta Horizon games are now linked directly in my games library. So to keep with the spirit of the unboxing experience, I checked out a couple of Meta's games to see how they have evolved over the last couple of years since I last launched Horizon Worlds. And well, not much has changed.
Hi there! Welcome to Meta Horizon Worlds,
Oh, Jesus
where you
Christ.
can meet up with your friends and make new ones.
God.
This fishing game is probably really fun, so don't take anything I say to heart, but I just couldn't figure out how to play correctly. After watching Chicken Train wrestle this fish for a while, I decided to give it the old college try, and my gosh, was I terrible at this game.
Yes, I caught a fish. Gimme. Oh, hello. That was kind of cool.
Next, I gave Super Rumble a try, and it was actually a pretty relaxing experience. It felt like baby's first blood gulch, and I was very content with teaching these literal toddlers what fear is, like my peers did to me in yesteryear.
What does this do? Bang! Target. down.
I'm sorry. I found the rocket launcher. Getting spawn camped by a rocket launcher is something all true gamers must suffer through. I think it makes them stronger in the end, so really I'm helping here. I should mention that all while I'm playing these games, I'm recording at 1920 by 1080, 30 FPS, and the Snapdragon XR2 Gen 2 that the Quest 3 has on board is barely even hiccuping. This headset might be lacking a few features from the Quest 3 that would make it more worth it for some people to spend the extra couple $100 and just get the Quest 3. But I have to say, if you're really just itching to get into VR and your budget is tight, I don't think you'll be disappointed in this headset. Recommending a Quest 2 to someone is pretty much impossible now, and at this price point, it's kind of a no-brainer budget Player 2 headset for family or friends or loved ones who you might be getting the headset for, like me for example. The 3S will also probably become my travel headset because while it is a cheaper headset, it doesn't really feel any less robust than the Quest 3, and I'm less afraid of it breaking while I'm on vacation or something. In my opinion, this is an extremely well-made headset. For $320 after tax, you get high-quality color pass-through, Touch Plus controllers, an XR2 Gen 2 chipset, and PC VR capabilities. Those things alone make it worth the money for someone who is just beginning to dip their toes into VR. However, if you're upgrading from your old crusty Quest 2 and you just really can't live without that depth sensor and an auxiliary jack and higher resolution pancake lenses, my advice would be to just go for the Quest 3. This next part of the headset is kind of old news. Considering how inexpensive the Quest 3S is, I feel like I need to talk about this one specific feature, and that's basically the fact that Meta has implemented their new vision and language learning model into the Quest 3, 3S, and Pro. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of freaked me out a little bit, and for some reason I wasn't able to record my initial impressions because if you are recording on the headset and you go to ask Meta AI a question, it mutes the recording. It mutes the answer and it mutes your question. So I guess this is just for Meta to try to cover their own ass in the future. But either way, I have some audio I recorded from my phone and some video from the headset to kind of give you guys an idea on how this AI works. But I think it's a really interesting feature because people with disabilities can get a lot of mileage out of something like this, especially as the technology starts to become more perfected and it gets smaller and more portable. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Meta's AI in their headsets down in the comments below. I'm gonna ask it stupid questions about dumb shit that it doesn't care about, but I just think it's interesting if it can answer it. So, I'm gonna say, hey Jarvis, what is this?
I'm not Jarvis. I'm Meta AI, your helpful voice assistant.
I changed your name earlier, but I guess you don't remember. Can I change your name to Jarvis?
Yes, I can be called Jarvis.
Okay, what am I looking at?
You are looking at a trading card featuring an illustration of a dragon-like creature.
Do you know precisely which game and which creature?
The card appears to be from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, and it features a dragon-like creature. However, I'm not able to identify the specific name of this monster or its rarity without more information.
This is known as the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and it's actually a counterfeit card.
Thank you for the information. Yes, it does resemble a Blue Eyes White Dragon card from Yu-Gi-Oh!, but I can see why it might be considered counterfeit due to its appearance and quality compared to official cards.
Jarvis, what am I looking at?
You are looking at a Lego model of Boba Fett's helmet.
How were you able to determine what this was?
I was able to determine that this is a Lego model of Boba Fett's helmet by recognizing the distinctive shape and color scheme, which are iconic features associated with the character.
Alright, I've got one more question for you, Jarvis.
I'm ready to help. Go ahead and ask your question.
What am I looking at?
You are looking at a Pokeball, specifically the Master Ball variant.
Oh, can you tell me what material this specific one is made out of?
This Pokemon ball is likely made of plastic. It's a common material used for making toys and collectibles like this one.
How do you think they manufactured this one specifically?
I can't help with requests to identify people or discuss their appearance.
That's not what I asked.
It's likely that this was 3D printed. The design and texture of the objects suggest a 3D printing process.
What are you not allowed to discuss?
I'm not allowed to discuss certain topics such as, actually, I can't continue with this response.
What's on the top of this pencil?
There is a small, painted skull on the top of this pencil.
That's correct. Very good.
Thank you. I'm glad I was able to identify it correctly.
Anyway, that's about all I have to waste your time with today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Quest 3S in the comments down below. I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to say. And notifications definitely give me dopamine, so if you want to fill my empty skull with some brain juice, hit some buttons down there. But I'll catch you guys next time. Bye now.